Hey, what's up you guys, it's Connor, and today we are going to be doing a book haul. I have not actually filmed a video in like 2 or 3 months. It's been quite some time. Hey Bubs. Nook's doing good. So I think the last time I did a book haul was months and months ago, so I've acquired some books since then, and let's just quickly go through them. The first book was for the House Salt Book Club for October, which we've already done the live show for that, so I will leave that up in the card symbol as well as down below if you want to check it out. In that video there will be spoilers, so just be aware of that. And the book we chose for October was A Deadly Education by Naomi Novik. This is the first book in the Scholomance series, I believe. Obviously, I've already read this one because I had to read it for that live show, but this one follows a girl named Galadriel. At the beginning of the book, you find out that she is a junior at this school for, like, witches. What's different about this school is that there's actually no teachers. It is completely self-run, like using magic and everything like that, but this school is trying to kill you, basically, and your goal is to learn as much as you can and survive to graduation. Now Jed is barking. What was I saying? Yes, you have to try to survive the school, and you have a better chance of surviving if you form an alliance with other students. The main character, Galadriel, has not formed an alliance with anyone yet, so at the beginning of the book she's trying to figure out how she's going to get herself into an alliance and get herself an invitation to what's called an enclave, which is where a lot of magical people will congregate together because there's safety in numbers. But again, I've already read this one, so it will be in a future wrap-up, and if you want to know my spoiler thoughts, then go ahead and watch that live show. Next up is a book that I pre-ordered, which is called Cemetery Boys by Aidan Thomas. This one follows a character named Yadriel. At the beginning of the book, he has not been able to... Oh. Hi, Bubs. Anyway, this one follows a character named Yadriel. At the beginning of the book, you find out that he is a brujo, but he has not been able to go through this ceremony that gives him his full, like, mature adult powers. Because the brujex, like, culture is very traditional and it has very strict gender norms, they don't know what to do with Yadriel because he is trans, and that is something that they have to figure out. At the beginning of the book, Yadriel goes through the ceremony on his own, and to prove himself as a brujo, he decides that he's going to summon a spirit and then release that spirit into the afterlife. The problem is that instead of summoning the person that he thought he was going to summon, which was his cousin Miguel, who gets murdered at the beginning of the book, he ends up summoning someone from his high school, and then it just follows that whole storyline. I've actually already read this one as well, so it will also be in a future wrap-up. Because I pre-ordered it, I got the signed book plate as well as the cards that came along with it, and yeah, I'm really happy to add this one to my shelves. Again, I'll be talking about it in a future wrap-up. I believe all the rest of the books were sent to me by publishers, so let's just get into it. The first one of those is Anxious People by Frederick Bachman. If you guys don't know, Frederick Bachman is one of my absolute favorites. I've read everything that he's written so far that's been translated into English and have enjoyed all of them. In this one, it follows a bunch of anxious people. What ends up happening is that at the very beginning of the book, you find out that a bank robber tries to rob a bank but fails and ends up taking a bunch of people hostage that are touring an apartment to potentially buy the apartment. And basically throughout this whole story, you're just following all of these different people and figuring out what they're anxious about. I've also read this one as well and wrote out notes so that I can do an individual book review for it, because I've done individual reviews for most of Frederick Bachman's books. So that one should be coming out at some point in the near future, but I have a lot of individual reviews that I've fallen behind on, so this one's in the queue. It'll happen at some point. Simon & Schuster ended up sending me a finished copy of The Black Kids by Christina Hammonds Reed. This one follows a girl named Ashley Bennett, and in 1992 she's just living her life, and then LAPD officers were acquitted after beating a black man, and then violent protests start happening after that. The main character has to decide how she's going to respond to all of these things, if she's going to get involved in them at all. I think her sister ends up getting involved in them, and so it just is following all of that. Hopefully I will be getting to this one soon, just because it seems like it's very timely, and I'm just interested to see how it'll all go. Again, this one came out, so if it's on your radar, go and pick it up. All the rest of these are in packages, so I don't exactly know what they are. The first of those is this one. It says #more Malik, so I assume that this is going to be a sequel to Oh gosh, what's the name of that series? It's a Cassandra Clare series, or Cassandra Clare? I never know how to say her name. So in there is a sheet that says, Dear Reader. So it's a note from the author talking about the book and how times are weird in 2020. So first up in there was a copy of The Red Scrolls of Magic by Cassandra Clare and Wesley Chu. This is the first book in the Eldest Curses series, which is a Shadowhunter novel. It's set in her huge Shadowhunter universe. There's like 1,000,001 books that are published in this world. This series follows characters that were in the original Mortal Instruments series. Specifically, it follows a character named Alec Lightwood. He is one of the Shadowhunters. His love interest is Magnus Bane. In the original series, that is probably a mild spoiler, but I mean, that's what these books are about. So it just follows them and their crazy adventures in the Shadowhunter universe, I believe. That's why the box said Malik on it, because that's their names combined. What is that, like their ship name? Haven't really heard all that much about this series specifically. I don't remember if you have to have read all of the Shadowhunter books to really understand what's going on in here. I have read the first series, the Mortal Instruments series, and the Infernal Devices, but I've not read any of the other books, except for I did read Chain of Gold. So I guess I've read that one as well. So if you have read all of these books and know if I can just jump into here, let me know. Also let me know if I have to read anything before this. I think there's the Shadowhunter Academy book? I don't know. And there's a Magnus Bane collection, so I don't know if I have to have read those or not. Let me know. The second book in there is the second book in the series, and that is The Lost Book of the White by Cassandra Clare and Wesley Chu. This has Magnus on the front, so that's pretty cool. I don't want to read what this one is about because I have not read the first book yet, but I guess now I've got both and I can read both. Also in there was a little pin that has Alec and Magnus on it, so thank you. After that is another package. This one was sent to me also by Simon & Schuster. I've been getting a lot of stuff by Simon & Schuster recently. I don't really get stuff from Tor anymore for some reason. Oh, shoot. All right, so there's flowers in here. That's kind of cool. There was 2 books in here. The first one is 5 Feet Apart by Rachel Lippincott. I have no idea how to say that name. Mickey Daughtry and Tobias Yakonis? I don't know how to say any of your names. So in 5 Feet Apart, it sounds like the main character, or one of the main characters, Stella Grant, it sounds like she has CF, cystic fibrosis. Regardless, she has some type of illness that is affecting her lungs, and so she has to keep 6 feet apart from someone. The love interest, Will, also is sick. Sounds like I have no idea what type of illness he has, but he just wants to stop all of these treatments, and he's turning 18 soon, and it seems like there's going to be a bit of a romance where maybe they can't stay 6 feet apart. So this sounds like it's a young adult contemporary romance, which during 2020, I've fully embraced that I've started to like romance. Maybe because 2020 is so doom and gloom that having a little bit of happiness and happiness for now or happily ever after is a nice thing to have. Hopefully it's not sad, because that would be devastating. The other one in there was All This Time, which is by Mickey Daughtry and Rachel Lippincott. I'm gonna look up how to say their names at some point. In this one, it follows a character named Kyle. At the beginning of the book, Kyle and Kimberly have been dating for a long time. On the night of their graduation, Kimberly drops a bomb on their relationship. I'm not really sure what that means, but while driving them home, I guess, Kyle crashes the car and Kimberly dies. Kyle ends up with a brain injury, and then later on, I don't know how much later on, he meets a girl named Marley, and Marley has had a loss of her own. It seems like they're going to try to heal together, and he is fearful that something bad is going to happen to this relationship. So there's that one as well. The next thing in here I think is going to be an arc for All This Time. It has been so long since I filmed a video that I got an arc and the finished copy before even posting anything about it. The first thing in there was a bit of a journal, so that's cool. I can always use scratch paper. There's also a card that says 5 feet apart, All This Time, all the advertising. And indeed, there is an arc for All This Time. So I have been slacking. I apologize for that. Everything is by Simon & Schuster. This one has a pink book in it. That is Judy Bloom, Are You There, God? It's Me, Margaret. I haven't heard anything about this, so I don't know what it is. So this one follows a girl named Margaret at the beginning of the book. It sounds like she moves to a suburb of New York City, and she thinks that she's going to be able to form fast friendships and just, I don't know, live her life. But she finds out that she isn't connecting with people as quickly as maybe she thought, or she has things that she doesn't feel comfortable discussing with her friends. So it sounds like this is going to be a lot of her addressing God and trying to work through whatever her issues are. So if this one sounds interesting to you, it's out. And the last... He put his paw on my arm. And the last box that we're going to be unboxing in this book haul is this one. It says Legendborn on the side, so I'm assuming that's what's in here. So when you open it, it's got tons of stuff in there. The first thing I see is this, like, canister. Is this going to be like a poster of Legendborn? It's childproof. I can't open it. So yes, it's a little poster of the cover. Not all truths should be carved in stone. And then on the back it has the Order of the Round Table and a bunch of character names. Also in there, it seems like there's some promotional materials. This one says join the conversation online using hashtag Legendborn. And in there was an advanced reader copy of Legendborn by Tracy Dion. This one, I don't know what it's about, so 1 second. So this one follows a girl named Bree Matthews. At the beginning of the book, you find out that her mother has recently-ish died in an accident, and so she wants nothing to do with her previous life. She basically wants to just start over and start fresh. She decides to go to this residential program at UNC Chapel Hill while she's still in high school to just get away from things for a while. On the first night that she's there, she ends up witnessing a magical attack, and after someone tries to wipe her memory, it doesn't work, which means that she may have some magical powers of her own. During the course of the story, she's trying to figure out more about that whole situation, and then it also comes to light that maybe her mother didn't die by an accident like she thought that she did. It appears that there might have been magic involved in her mother's death, so she then has to process that, as well as that there's a war that may be coming, and she has to decide if she wants to fight for the Legendborn or bring them down. This one sounds like it could be really fun and interesting, and I'm excited to give it a shot. I'll let you guys know what I think when I get to this one. So those are all the books in this book haul. If you like this video, please give it a big thumbs up and comment down below what you've picked up recently. Are you interested in any of these books, or should I be bumping them up on my priority list? Anything else you want me to know, leave it down below, and I will talk to you guys next time. Bye. Nikki, say bye. Bye.